today in our podcast series, we have with us our founder and CEO, Mr. Rohan Patel. And I call him a man who wears multiple hats, right from his diverse educational background to being in this asset integrity space for over 2.5 decades, and then bringing his business and technical expertise to AsInt as a founder and CEO. I'm damn sure it has been a long journey. So, hi Rohan, welcome to this podcast. And how does it feel being here?
Well, thank you very much, Alekhya. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you for the kind word as well. I feel great to be here on this podcast. I know always wanted to be part of the discussion, so this is great start.
So, I was always curious to know the story behind AsInt. Like every founder has a story, right? I'm sure plenty of us might have this question already. So, what is your story? How did you come up with AsInt?
Yeah, so Ascent started with the idea of solving the problem in enterprise asset management space, right? Like, so when you talk about enterprise asset management, it is a wide field. There has a lot of application, a lot of enterprise resource planning, all those different things get utilized. So what we founded Ascent on is how to solve those strategic problems specifically in SAP, right? Like as we over the years, all the founders talk with the different client, they actually told us over and over again that these are the problems we have, and nobody's actually doing to do anything about to solve that. So what we have done, we actually started out to ascend to say, hey, how can we put asset intelligence into the mix? And that's how the idea came about.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you, like in the current market space we are in, we do have multiple players who can be our partners. Why SAP? Is there a backstory to that?
Oh, why SAP? That's a great question. SAP has like a natural partner for Ascent because it's the platform that SAP provides that enable the integrated like overall solution seamlessly as an enterprise system, right? As you see the landscape, what people are trying to do, they're trying to reduce the application footprint, right? Technical debt within the space. So what's going on is everybody wants to reduce the technical debt and SAP, when we think about it, that comes naturally to our idea because everybody's utilizing it with the industry we deal with, like oil and gas, petrochemical, and all that. They generally deal with SAP as their enterprise resource planning. So that's where natural fit for Ascent is. If we can actually develop a solution which is embedded, which is closer loop with all the SAP application, and that makes it better, right, for our client and for us, right, as well.
Yeah, then I think it was a no-brainer to go with SAP.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
It took us a lot on that side to think through it. We have a different ideas, but when we decided on SAP, that means we are all in into SAP at that point.
yeah, and also as we are covering the story of Ascent, as a tripod, it has its balance because of three legs. And our story will be incomplete if we don't address our two other founders, Michael and Jared. So, how was your relationship with them? And I'm pretty sure you have worked with them in different capacities, right? From competitors to now working together to build a new product and disrupting the space we are in. So, how was your relationship with them?
Yeah, great question. So it doesn't happen just with one person, right? It always takes more than one that I firmly believe in, right? With Michael and Jared, it's a natural fit for me as a partnership because we have a mutual trust with each other. We have a mutual respect for each other. And if you see our expertise are completely different, right? Michael has a lot of in-field experience, right? Michael has a lot of application development, but more on a how to user experience side experience, right? Versus Jared is a natural has experience on developing application for over 2 decades, right? So it was a natural fit with me because I wear both hat. I wear business hat as well as the development hat on, and sometimes I wear multiple hat, right? So it's just a natural collaboration effort, and then we decided that I think we should do it, and since then, the innovation has its own leg, right? We started out with the idea, now it becomes in, and we're expanding in, not just limiting to mechanical integrity, we're expanding to safety side of things. We are expanding into SAP core application side of things, like a business process automation versus enable now, or if you wanted to go to AI, right? That's a topic of discussion everybody's doing, right? So it's just a natural evaluation over the years, right? But it takes a long time. We used to compete with each other. Now we are together and solving the problem for the client.
Yeah, I think I would say it like the more like a right mix, each leader from different capacity bringing their expertise, and now you're building a whole product.
100% agree.
So any anecdote that you would like to share? I'm sure you might have some good and bad experience because you have been working for a while altogether. So any small short story you want to share?
Yeah, it's sometimes when you have an idea, you have to take that idea into different formats, right? Like everybody has idea, right? But what do you do about that idea? And how do you actually take that idea and go ahead and put it in a product? Once you now put it in a product, well, how are you going to sell the product, right? Then how are you going to market the product, right? So it's all that is a long journey. So my advice is just be patient, right? Like sometimes it's very frustrating. Some days are very, very frustrating when you're dealing with multiple people, like when you're dealing multi-million dollar industries, right? But it's at end of the day, it is absolutely rewarding, right? I firmly believe that all the hard work you do, end of the day, it pays off, right? But you cannot stop doing the hard work, right? That's the key over here.
Yeah, thanks for that, Rohan. I think young entrepreneurs over there will take this guidance and suggestion, and I hope they get good insights. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
now, I have seen from my experience, I can share my experience here. So over the time, I've seen the company grow, be it in the company size or the clients we are handling. So is there a secret ingredient that you're putting in choosing your team, or how are you making this happen?
Oh yeah, a great question. Team is everything. I always says internally, right? Like choosing the right people at the right place is everything, right? Like building the right team is the crucial for the business, right? As you asked on the previous question, like what are the obstacles you see throughout the owning a business, right? This is one of them, right? How to have a great people, but not only once you have those people, how can you make sure they're technically proficient to what you wanted to achieve, also get aligned with your goal, and then have that core value of innovation, right? Problem solving, collaboration, right? Those are the pillar in my opinion, right? Like, so if you don't have innovative way of thinking, then you will not work in a sense, right? If you don't have a problem skill, solving skill, then it will be really, really hard for you, right? And collaboration is the key, right? You not only collaboration with internally your team member, but it's also collaboration with your client and your partner and everybody else, right? So ultimately, for me and everybody in the team, sharing the our common vision to disrupt our distributing in the industry to make like a real impact, right? Like, so what we really wanted to do is disturb we wanted to make sure that we disturb entire industry over there.
Yeah, thanks for those words. I think young engineers, consultants, software developers, all of them who are looking for an opportunity to join AsInt, here you go. You got the requirement from the man himself. I think you can take those for the word to word. Thanks for that, Rohan.
Absolutely.
So, as we have discussed about AsInt, how we have come far till now, how is the roadmap for AsInt looking like? We want to know those interesting topics you're working on right now, and how's the future for AsInt?
Yeah, no, the future is bright. So if anybody wants to join our team, please do so, right? Like we always hiring, right? So we definitely wanted to make sure we build the core team with our common vision, right? That's the goal. The as a roadmap wise, it looks really, really solid. Like I just review with the team on the management side as well, like what exactly we're trying to achieve, not only just for this year, because this year ultimately is almost closing out for us, but we still gonna release a lot of functions to. We are not stopping at mechanical integrity, right? Like that's the core message, right? When people think about Ascend, people think it's just mechanical integrity provider solution, right? We are doing so many more than mechanical integrity. We're touching your enterprise resource planning. We're planning to do annual maintenance plan. How you actually touch that annual maintenance plans to get all kind of like an annual investment planning versus your ISO standards and all those different things. We are touching it now, and we are keep expanding our applications. And next year we're gonna welcome. I'm super excited about our mobile application that we're about to launch. Now we already have two mobile application. One was a core inspection and the core calculator. Those apps serve different purpose, right? We added like a lot of feature on a core calculator, like API 571 as a Mac screener already added. We also added like a base material and everything else. So that is a new innovation we're gonna keep doing on those application. But we are now officially launching the app that can connect directly to your SAP BTP versus then now you can actually start doing all those different activities, right? Within that, right? So we are super excited about it, so please watch out for that. The safety, the hazards, all those different applications, it's all on in our pipeline, right? We wanted to achieve RCA first quarter of next year. That's an internal goal we set for our team. So there's a lot to come, but we keep posting all these things on our the online roadmap as well, so you can always check out. But again, we are agile, right? We want it to be agile. So if we get the client and client comes and they have a specific requirement, they can influence our roadmap anytime, right? That is the key. We tell all our client, right? We are driven by client and for client, right? So that means our roadmap is something that we worked on, but client can always influence that roadmap anytime. And we are always look for those opportunity to work with the client.
I see exciting times coming up for Ascent and looking forward to that. So now I just want to touch base on the other side of Rohan Patel. Like we have understood what happens on the work life. So being a busy man and managing multiple things, how do you unwind yourself from the day-to-day activities? What do you do just for recreation?
Yeah, so I listen a lot of music. Music is always it's something is my passion. So I li listen a lot of music to unwind myself on. So that's always is the best thing. Now I'm also very into the sports as well. People don't realize it, but I love football, I love basketball, I love cricket, all kind of sports, right? So I always find time for my sports, right? So my general Sundays morning are watching my home team, Houston Texan, right? Like that's where I start my day on Sunday, especially on the football season. And then when it's not football season, I'm pretty sure there is a IPL, right? So that's another side of me. I'm also I started out really good on golfing, but I got really not practicing at all, so I got pretty bad. But now my daughter is in golf, so that's actually making me go back and spend more time on golf clubs and everything else. So that's what my next big thing I'm planning on doing, spending a lot of time on golf course. So if you hear me, if there's a ball hitting or somebody says par, you better duck, right? That's the that's the formula right now.
Yeah, great. Great to know the other side of you and know more about you as a person. And on an ending note, you want to share something for the audience and the viewers we have, something to know on Ascent and the way forward.
Yeah, there are a lot of technology evaluation is happening at this stage, right? Like AI being is a forefront of everything these days, right? People always talk about it. I think we all need to be listening to them, right? I feel like people are still hesitant to learn about AI. People are still hesitant about the concept of AI. I think we need to talk more about it, but we have to have a real solution. So I even challenge our internal team, like, hey, do not release anything on AI until we have a product, because I see a lot of people just writing about AI, but it's really not a product and then how you productize the product is a completely different path, right? So our internal team challenge is to produce more AI application, but we're gonna do it systematically to make sure we're solving the client problem, right? We're working on it, right? We have been working on it for the last few months. We are about to release something pretty cool. So stay tuned if you wanted to see it. Like keep following us on LinkedIn versus our website and everything else, or reach out to our great solution engineers, right? Like yourself, Alekhya, and we can talk more about it. But that's those are my last word. Don't be afraid of AI. It is coming one way or another. People's gonna left behind who actually don't utilize them, right? So it's not here to take your job. It's will not never gonna take your job. But if you don't know how to use it, that's gonna be a problem, right? And that's gonna apply to generally everything. It's not just in our business, right? It's gonna apply to everywhere and anything, right?
So, do you have a person who inspires you? Like, do you draw inspiration from something?
Oh, wow. Yeah, great question. So there's three people generally in my mind when I said they inspire me, right? So it starts out with Steve Jobs because of his vision and everything else that he brought it up, right, on a technology side and the way he see the future better than anybody else, right? So that's a one person I always inspire, has been always back of my mind. The second one is Jeffrey Moore. He actually writes all those different books and everything else that we follow. And I not generally follow him on all the podcasts and everything else, right? And all those things. He actually inspires me because he sees the vision, right? He sees how technology is gonna change. What are those blocking points you have to do? The other person, like in recent years, inspiring me a lot is Jensen Huang for NVIDIA CEO, right? Like he is very fascinating person, right? Like he brings that entrepreneurship, but not only just in a sense of because he started out his journey from nowhere to somewhere, right? And so that story by itself is so inspiration to me. But the way he conduct his business on a daily basis, it's very inspiration. So those are the three. There are a lot more people, right, that I get inspired from. But those are three comes to my mind when somebody asks me that question, right?
Great, great answers. So, thanks, Rohan, for being a part of this podcast and taking time from your busy schedule. I know how the schedule is going on these days, but thanks for taking out your time and spending your time on this questionnaire.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much, Alekhya and the team to putting this together. I always love doing this. I just wanted to make sure everybody have a wonderful day and thank you again for listening.
Thank you all.